Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Redskins Talk TV. This is your host, Andre. I'm just making this video from my phone instead of my webcam on my computer. Just want to talk about everything that's been going on over the past couple of days. There's been speculation that Mike Shanahan was going to bench Robert Griffin III for the remainder of the season. And during the press conference today, Mike Shanahan gets to the podium and he does, formally announce that he's going to shelf Robert Griffin III, have Kirk Cousins start for the remainder of the season. So Robert Griffin III, he'll be inactive. So that means that Rex Grossman is going to be the starter. Well, not the starter. He's going to be second string behind Kirk Cousins. Now, Mike Shanahan's reasons for benching Robert Griffin III is because he was saying that he's been taking too many hits. And over the last 5 games, he's been sacked 5 times. And some of those weren't tremendous hits, but as a quarterback, he's getting hit. And as a franchise quarterback, Mike Shanahan said that he wants for Robert Griffin III to go into the postseason healthy, leading up to the OTAs, and then next offseason leading to preseason, then the regular season for 2014. Now, we as Redskins fans, we're very perceptive. We've been through the circus ever since Dan Snyder took over the team. But for Mike Shanahan to get on to the podium to say that because Robert Griffin III has taken too many hits, first and foremost, who's responsible to ensure that Robert Griffin III doesn't get hit? Part of it is RG3 in terms of getting rid of the ball, but at the same time, if it's a passing situation, he's got to have the receivers open. He's got to make sure that he doesn't hold on to the ball. But most importantly, the 5 guys in front of Robert Griffin III are responsible for making sure that he stays healthy, his jersey stays clean, and that commitment hasn't been done throughout the season. And our record is indicative of that. So we have Robert Griffin III, who now has to sit in the background, dressed in plain clothes for the remainder of the season, but attend the game with that burning, itching sensation to get onto the field, which is his competitive nature, while watching Kirk Cousins take the helm. Now, the question is, if Robert Griffin III was taking too many hits, keep in mind, we have a porous offensive line. And Kirk Cousins, he stands to take as much punishment. He's not going to have the breakaway speed. They're not going to be calling the read option plays with Kirk Cousins. Has a slightly different style to his play as opposed to Robert Griffin III. So it's a slightly different game plan. And they may not, if at all, have any run option plays. Now they got Mike Shanahan, once again, as you see on the press conference. Now, I'm very dismayed by this. I'm a huge RG3 fan, but at the same time, I'm a huge Washington Redskins fan. And living down here in South Texas, got to deal with the bullshit of Cowboy fans coming at us. Now, they don't have a pot to piss in, especially with the way they got the ass whooped by the Bears a few nights ago. But at the same time, their record is better than ours. And the whole purpose in coming into this new season is so that we can continue where we left off last season, beating the Cowboys, beating the Eagles, beating the Giants. Unfortunately, we haven't beat any one of our rivals in the NFC East this season. And a lot of that, part of it is because of RG3 and his lack of production, but at the same time, the lack of production by the receivers, our piss-poor defense, our extremely piss-poor offensive line, our fucked-up offensive coordinator with Kyle Shanahan and the way he calls plays, the defensive coaching, there's just special teams. I mean, you can go on and on about some of the problems that are happening with the Washington Redskins. But for any person that's a fan of the Washington Redskins and that would want to say some stupid bullshit like maybe it's because of the name of the team and it's bad karma coming back at us, first of all, fuck you. If you've been a fan of the Washington Redskins all this time and you cheered during the times that they got their Super Bowl rings, you're contradicting yourself. You're being a hypocrite. So jump the fuck off of our bandwagon and go be a Cowboy fan because we don't need you. But at the same time, if you want to blame RG3 for some of this shit that's going on, he can take part of the blame. And no matter if he gets up on a press conference and says, I need to do better, or we as a team needs to do better. It is fact. The team does need to do better. So I'm not the kind of person, if I was a quarterback, I'm not going to get on the podium and say, well, because I threw for 30 of 30, no incompletions, no interceptions, but because we lost, I need to do a better job. No, fuck that. I'm not going to take one for the team on that. I'm not going to necessarily throw the team under, any player under the bus, but at the same time, I will say that we need to play better As an offense, as a defense, as a special teams, we need to play better. So for all those who say that he should get up on the podium and say, I need to do a better job, I take responsibility. No. Robert Griffin III isn't on kick and punt coverage. Robert Griffin III isn't covering receivers and tight ends. Robert Griffin III, his sole responsibility is to hand the ball off to Alfred Morris. His responsibility is to get the ball to the receivers when they catch the fucking ball. His responsibility is to make good decisions in the pocket when the fucking pocket is not collapsing. So he's a minor bit of what's happening with the team in terms of a minor problem. But the problem is all the way around. And for our head coach, Mike Shanahan, to come on and say some bullshit like he's taking too many hits. Now he's going to throw another sacrificial lamb with Kirk Cousins behind that offensive line. If by chance Kirk Cousins goes down with an injury because Chris Chester failed to block, Will Montgomery let someone run up the middle, or Tyler Columbus let someone off the edge on the right side, and all of a sudden Kirk Cousins' knee gets snapped like a fucking celery stick. All of a sudden, here comes Sexy Rexy, Mr. Six Picks. He's got the propensity to throw an interception anytime, especially when the game is close. So what the fuck happens then? You're going to turn back to RG3 and say, hey, we believed in you all along. You just kick Robert Griffin III in the balls. And now you're trying to say, we want you back in the game. So it's bullshit. And it's demoralizing to the quarterback, any quarterback. And we can all say that, or make a comparison with Andrew Luck, RG3, and Russell Wilson. But those two other quarterbacks have a slightly better organization with less drama. They have the defense, they have the offense, they have everything in place to help them to be successful. And what do we have? We have nepotism. Mike Shanahan and his son Kyle. We have a defensive coordinator who has us in a scheme that's not right for our personnel. We have a special teams coach that's using bigger returners on kick returns. Most teams in the league, and I'm not even going to, I'm not even going to go into that because I can go all day. But all the same, it's just bullshit that Robert Griffin III is getting benched. So, unfortunately, and we hate to do this as Redskins fans where we say, well, we'll just have to see what happens next season. Unfortunately, we're going to have to wait to see what happens next season for the next 3 games. And we have the 3-9 Atlanta Falcons. And I just have a funny feeling with the play of the game, the Atlanta Falcons, instead of looking 3-9, they're going to look like they're a 9-3 team against our defense. I see Matty Ice basically picking this defense apart. So I wonder if they're going to blame RG3 for that when he's sitting on the bench, because I'm pretty sure some fucking idiot is going to blame RG3 for that. So I just wanted to rant about this because I'm highly discombobulated. All the same, if you like this video, hope that you like, subscribe, and share. And to my Redskins family, hail to the Redskins.